Hi dears, today we'll be looking at a documentary that is The Last Stand, Saving the World's Last Remaining Ancient Forest. It's narrated by Peter Coyote and directed by Peter von Puttkamer. This film is more than just a story about trees, it's about people, culture, and the future of our planet. Forests are often called the lungs of the earth because they clean the air we breathe and keep our climate stable. But what happens when we lose them? That's the big question this documentary asks us to think about. So, first, we look at the introduction part. The Last Stand is an environmental documentary directed by Peter von Puttkamer, like I have already mentioned. It highlights the urgent need to protect the world's ancient forest and ecosystem. This film begins by showing us ancient forests that have grown for hundreds or even thousands of years. These are not the same as newly planted trees, they are ecosystems that have taken centuries to form. They are home to rare animals, birds, and plants. They are also deeply connected to indigenous people who depend on them for food, medicine, and cultural traditions. So, who are indigenous people or communities? They are first people or original groups who have lived in a place for a very long time, often before modern cities or countries were formed. They have their own culture, tradition, language, and ways of life that are closely connected to nature. So, the documentary explains that cutting down these forests is not just about losing wood, it's about losing entire living system. Without these forests, climate change will speed up, species will vanish, and humans will lose valuable knowledge that has been passed down for generations. Next one is key focus. First one is preservation of ancient forest. The need to save old growth forests. These forests cannot simply be replanted once destroyed. It takes centuries to rebuild their richness. Second one is focus on Fairy Creek blockades in British Columbia. So what is Fairy Creek? Fairy Creek is a forest area on Vancouver Island in British Columbia, Canada. It is famous because it has some of the last old growth forests left in the region. These forests have very tall, very ancient trees. Some are over 1,000 years old. So what happened there is in 2020, the government gave permission to a logging company. Logging company is a business company that cut down trees in forest to make wood for things like paper, furniture, houses, and all of that. So they gave permission for logging company to cut down trees in that area. Many people felt this was wrong because the old growth forests are rare, sacred to indigenous people, and important for the environment to store carbon, protect wildlife, and prevent climate change. So, activists, environmentalists, and members of local indigenous group started protesting. They built camps, blocked logging roads, and chained themselves to trees or equipments to stop logging. So that is what Fairy Creek means. Then next one is threats to Amazon and other global ecosystem. The film looks at the Amazon rainforest and other global forests. These areas are also under pressure from logging, mining, and farming. The loss of the Amazon would affect rainfall, the climate, and millions of people worldwide. Finally, the role of activists and indigenous communities. The film highlights the role of people activists, scientists, and indigenous leaders who fight to protect forests, often risking arrest, violence, and their own safety. Their courage shows that ordinary people can make extraordinary things. Then we look at the global perspective. While rooted in Canada's Fairy Creek protest, the documentary extends its focus to global deforestation challenges, highlighting ecological and cultural impacts. Although much of the documentary focuses on Fairy Creek, the message is global. Forests are connected across the world. Think of forests as Earth's safety net. They trap carbon dioxide, slow down global warming, and bring rain that feeds rivers and crops. When forests disappear, Drought and floods become more common. Animals lose their home, and even cities far away feel the effect. The film reminds us that what happens in one place affects all of us. A tree cut down in Canada or a fire in the Amazon contributes to climate change that impacts people in India, Africa, and beyond. Protecting forests is not just the job of one country, it is a responsibility we all share. Next one is significance. The Last Stand is not only about a documentary but also a call to action. It emphasizes the importance of protecting biodiversity, indigenous rights, and combating climate change. So, why does this documentary matter for us as students and citizens? Because it teaches us that protecting ancient forests is not a luxury, it's a necessity. These forests stores more carbon than younger forests. They keep our air clean, prevent soil erosion, and protect rivers. They are also home to species we may not even know exist yet. The documentary also connects forest to human rights. Indigenous communities have lived with and cared for forests for generations. By defending forests, we are also defending their culture, their knowledge, and their future. The film asks us to rethink progress. Is progress measured by how many trees we cut, or how much nature we protect for future generation? This question is left for all of us to reflect on. Then the conclusion. The Last Stand reminds us that preserving ancient forests is critical for sustaining life on Earth. It inspires global action and awareness. To conclude, The Last Stand is more than just a film. It is a call to action. It tells us that ancient forests are priceless treasures. Once they are gone, we cannot simply plant them back. They take hundreds of years to grow, and once destroyed, the animals and cultures cannot connected to them may disappear forever. The documentary encourages us to get involved by learning, by spreading awareness, and by supporting people who are already protecting forests. Even small steps like reducing paper waste, planting trees, or supporting sustainable products can make a difference. The main message is simple. If we save forests, we save ourselves. Protecting them means protecting the earth, our climate, our future. That is why the film is called The Last Stand, because this may be a final chance to defend what remains. So let's all remember that saving forests is not just about nature, it's about life. Thank you.